When life throws you a curveball, how are you going to handle adversity? Welcome to the Fearless Mindset Podcast, where you're about to go on a journey as I interview security, business, and entertainment leaders on what it takes to stay fearless. I'm your host, Mark Ledlow, and enjoy today's episode. Hey, good morning, folks. This is Mark Ledlow at the Fearless Mindset Podcast, and been a while. We had a ramp up of some great guests with Monica with LinkedIn, and Steve Antonio just dropped a couple episodes. And sorry, Steven, I didn't mean to blow up your LinkedIn, but it's kind of the way it worked. And thanks for your time for doing that. That's become a very popular podcast with Steven with Pepsi Cola. So, folks, today we're going to change it up a little bit. I had the pleasure of having lunch with Zack at his resort hotel there in Newport Beach. And I think Balboa Resort, right, Zack?
Yes, Balboa Bay Resort and Club.
And he invited me for lunch, and we just had a great time, a great visit. He gave me the 5-star VIP tour over there. And, we just got to talk to each other. And I just like, you know what? Zack is the perfect fit for this show, because Zack has not only come out of nowhere, but Zack has been fearless in his approach in the security industry. Zack doesn't have law enforcement background. Zack doesn't have military background. But what he does have is the mentality to serve his people. And he has a customer service approach I have not seen in a long time in this industry. And because of that, Zack actually accepted a new position. He had a great interview, and now you just got offered a job. Where at, Zack? Where are you going to be working at now?
I'm going to be working at the Pelican Hill Resort in Newport Beach, 5-star Forbes luxury hotel and resort, golf course, villas. So that's where I'll be heading next.
So, folks, think about this. Think about all you guys out there listening to my show that are all badasses in your own right, Navy SEALs, SF guys, and you think you want to crack in this industry because you got these hard SF skills, or you're a Fed guy, and you think, well, I'm a Fed guy, I can get any job I want. Listen to Zack's story on how he's done what he's done. He doesn't have any of your guys' background or girls' background, and he's accomplished a lot in a very little time. There's something to be said about what Zack is doing that you guys are not doing. And I know you guys are transitioning and all that. And Steve Antonio offers a lot of gold nuggets on how to do that transition. But I think Zack has very strong content. He's going to drop some gold gems as you guys listen to this podcast. And I would suggest have a pen and paper ready to take some notes, because Zack has done some things that I have not seen anybody else do in a long time. And I think he's got a lot of words of wisdom. So stay tuned as we drop these gold bombs, nuggets, whatever you call it, just words of wisdom. And just Zack impressed me when we sat down. He just has people. I saw people, how they treated him at this hotel. They really respected him. And Zack is a no-nonsense kind of guy. He runs his job like his own business, and he takes ownership of it, and he thrives in his genius, so to speak. And he goes from his job he had for how many years did you have that job there, Zack?
Almost 6 years.
6 years. He's 6 years director of security at the hotel resort, and then boom, he's promoted. He's getting offered a job down the street at a 5-star, not a 4-star, but a 5-star at Pelican Hill. If you guys are from Orange County, you know how exclusive Pelican Hill is. It's no joke. I've actually protected Saudi royal family members up in that hill at their estates. And now he's the head of security without law enforcement, without military background. So we're going to do a deep dive with Zack this morning. And you can see he's all polished up, and he's got a nice little studio there. I'm not going to ask where that's at, but it looks pretty cool. He's all suited up for us for the show. And Zack is very excited to be on here to share his knowledge on the show. And so you guys all know that are listening to this, we are about to approach 12,000 downloads in less than 2 years on this show. And, I could not have done it without the stories like Zack, Steven, and Monica at LinkedIn. And those are the stories people want to hear. It's not about Mark Ledlow. It's about the guest I have on the show that make the show the show. So, Zack, I got to say, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Fearless Mindset alumni. You have You had reached another pinnacle in your career. You're on podcast.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's an honor. It's a privilege to be on your podcast. I really want to thank you. We connected when we first met, and I could just tell you're a great guy. And I really appreciate you reaching out and us getting together for lunch that day. It was an awesome experience, and I'm very grateful for that. I also want to preface this by thanking our men and women who serve in the military. We couldn't have our freedom. We couldn't have our peace, anything without them. So I want to thank them for their service. And I know many of them will be watching this and they're of interest of transitioning into the private security industry. But as you said, I have a very unique background. I don't have a law enforcement background. I don't have military experience. I born and raised here in Newport Beach. My dad immigrated here from Iran. Did not speak English, came here and went to school. He's an aerospace engineer. And he really taught me the value of hard work and dedication. And he taught me how to always stay positive and to work hard, no matter what adversity comes your way. So that was really instilled in me from a young age, is just watching him become very successful through hard work and positive attitude. And same thing with my mother as well. Hardworking woman. She was a nurse for many, many years, psychiatric nurse, and just really wanted to provide for her family and contribute and be a great mom and work hard. So these are the values that have been instilled in me. Growing up in Newport Beach, we were really involved with church. So really involved with those faith church values and just helping others, loving others, doing the right thing, walking with integrity and character is something that has really molded me. After high school, I played football at Newport Harbor High School, and I got a call from our coach at the time, one of the winningest coaches in Orange County history. He said, "Hey, I want you to come join. I want you to coach football with us." And I said, "Really? I'd love to." So I did that for about 4 years and had tremendous success. And we went to CIF championships. For those of you who don't know, it's like the California State Regional Championship games. We did that. I had players that got full ride scholarships to Division I universities. And I really put all of my focus on coaching. And during that time, I wanted to win. I wanted to be the best at what I did. So I picked up a book called How Good Do You Want to Be by Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the head coach at University of Alabama. He's a legend. He's a legend in his own right. Everyone knows about him in the college football world. And in his book, it really opened my eyes because I was thinking, I want to win games. I want to win a championship. And his mindset, his paradigm is completely different in that you need to be the best at what you do every single day. And one of the stories in his book is that he grew up working at a gas station, Dairy Queen, where he would clean cars for his dad. And if he had one streak on one of those cars that he washed, his dad would tell him, wash it all over again. Start from the very beginning, because we want to be the best at what we do. So that book really influenced me and really taught me, no matter what I do, it doesn't matter if I'm sweeping something, if I'm cleaning dishes, it doesn't matter what the work is, I'm going to be the best. So fast forward, I went to Concordia University in Irvine, finished my 4-year degree in communication studies, public speaking, learned things like that, public relations. And then at the end of that internship, before I graduated, I did an internship at the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and I worked in the Public Affairs Bureau. I went on to work with the Marine Operations, Harbor Patrol Bureau, and got to get an understanding of kind of like how law enforcement operations work. Did many ride-alongs in their contract cities and got to watch and observe the deputies do an amazing job. And then I said, hey, I want to continue schooling. And I proceeded to University of California, Irvine, got a master's degree in criminology, law, and society. And at the completion of this, I wanted to get in the workforce. And my friend said, hey, I work at this hotel over here. You should apply. They have a big security team. There's a lot of activity. You should join. So I applied, I got the job, and I started as an overnight security agent. And really just to give you an idea where I'm at is the Balboa Bay Resort and Club in Newport Beach. As Mark said, it's a 4-star resort by Forbes. Very luxury. It's a multifaceted property. There's a private residence, hotel, private club. There's a marina with 165 vessels. So it's a 15-acre property that's very, very active. A lot of people. I was just the other weekend. I mean, Friday, Saturday night, you can have up to thousands and thousands of people on the property for weddings, for events, for parties, restaurant, bar. It's a very busy place. So I started working as an overnight security agent and contributing. And again, taking these values with me is I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do everything I can to be the best. And that's where it all started. So it's been an amazing ride since then. And I've been able to rise up from this position over the span of almost 6 years. I was promoted to what we'd call like a supervisor of our security agents on a shift, and then a manager position overseeing the entire team. I was also in charge of our valet department. We have a very big parking operation over there. And then eventually promoted to director of safety and security, which we could talk more about that. But it's an amazing role. It's a lot of responsibility. And as you said, Mark, my mindset is it's all about respecting others, being a servant to leader, and contributing to the organization and the business as a whole.
Wow. So impressed. I'm so overimpressed by what you accomplished in less than 10 years. I mean, I've been in this business for 15 years in the private sector. And, I'm running a business now, Ledlow Security Group, and the podcast, and now running training. But you've done something. You've been in business less than 10 years now? Less than 10.
Yeah. Yes.
And you've accomplished more. I mean, it's a testimony of servant leadership. It's a testimony of your mentor that you read the book. And I think reading is crucial to become your mentor. You got to get in their head. And that's what you did by reading that book. And that guy's a phenomenal head coach. And it just shows you when you open your mind and just dig into reading and learn how other leaders think, iron sharpens iron.
It does. It does.
What do you think? I mean, from the fearless mindset approach, what was the trigger? And I'm sure you probably were uncomfortable in many different aspects of your journey. What kept you fearless? Or had you any times where you were hesitant and questioned yourself during this journey, like, I can't do it, I'm not worthy? Did you ever have those questions in your mind saying, I'm not worthy of this? And how did you overcome those moments?
Absolutely. I've had these thoughts and feelings many times in my career. And I'm from the very beginning, even from when I started coaching, I said, I can't do this. Why would they choose me? But it's a mentality that you have to have. And like you said, it's being fearless, and it's having that warrior mindset saying, hey, I can do this. Okay. I'm not a victim. I'm a conqueror. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm going to serve others. Right. That's what it's all about. And I've had those times where it's like, when I first took over as the department head or manager of our security team, it was daunting for me because this is the real deal. This is real life. I mean, even though it's a nice place, it's luxury, I get it, but there's some very serious things that happen there and that we need to be prepared for. So when I came to that moment, I just remember thinking, hey, getting in that mindset and saying, hey, I can do this. Okay. God has taken me here for a reason. I'm here. I'm going to do it. So that's been my mindset from the beginning. And, and I have to remind myself that every day. Sometimes I need to slow down a little bit and just think, hey, there's a reason why I'm here. There's a purpose for my life. And this is why I'm doing it. So thank you for that question. It's very real. And it's all about the mindset. It's all about being fearless. It's being tenacious. It's really having that grit and that resilience in every single day, being relentless at what you do. So yes, maybe I did a good job today. Great. But tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. And it's moment by moment. So whatever I'm doing at this moment, I'm going to be the best at what I do, whether I'm writing an email, whether I am doing a security detail, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to be the best at what I do. And that's really where it comes from.
Here's a question for you, Zach. When you're sitting at these interviews, how many interviews did you have to do for the Pelican interview?
I did about 5.
Five interviews.
Yes, I did.
Holy smokes.
Yes, did about 5. And it was over a period of about a month. And, it was a great honor to do that. And I'm very pleased that I was able to they selected me for the position.
Now, I'm sure you're competing with retired coppers, chief of polices, a lot of competition at that level. What do you think was the thing that made you become that top 1% against your competition? What do you think that was?
Well, it's a good question, Mark. I think what separated me is that is really the experience with executive level service. Okay. Providing a service to our clients, to our guests that goes beyond security. So first and foremost, the foundation of what we do is physical security, and it's very important. We all know that. It's the most important thing. We have to have security, especially in this day and age. We have to be innovative. We have to always be thinking. We have to be ready for what's around the corner and always prepared. So what set me apart is that in my role is that I've developed experience within a luxury organization where we have merged both security and safety programs together. So my title is Director of Safety and Security. So not only am I in charge of the physical security of the organization, but also the occupational safety. I'm also in charge of the environmental health, right? So chemical programs, things like that. And ensuring also our workers are safe. So yes, we can have occupational health compliance, things like that, making sure there's no hazards in the workplace, but it goes deeper than that. It's ensuring that our team members don't get hurt on the job. So currently at our organization at Balboa Bay Resort and Club, we have approximately 650 employees. Okay. That's a lot of workers. That's a lot of work. We're very busy. We have a lot of activity, a lot of events. Like I told you, things happen. Our team members, they move tables, they move umbrellas, they lift heavy things, they transport things, they drive golf carts, they drive cars. We have to ensure that they're safe on the job. And that's where I come in with my safety program. So for our house, we have a vast housekeeping department. I have something called a musculoskeletal prevention program where I train them on how to make beds. I train them on how to push their housekeeping carts, how to clean rooms. And it goes beyond that. Also, we have an injury illness prevention program to ensure that our team members are safe on the job. And it covers everything from understanding bloodborne pathogens to ergonomics, how to lift things properly, to even water safety. It's summertime now. So we discuss water safety and preventing drowning. I mean, there are team members that we are surrounded by water, and there are team members that don't know how to swim. We have many guests. So the safety aspect was very important for me. And it's something that I had to learn. It's not something that I just came overnight, understood. I went out and got my certification in OSHA 10 hour, OSHA 30 hour, did some safety courses to understand, environmental health, safety, workplace hygiene, things like that. So that was a good factor as well. But again, it goes back to that customer service aspect and framework of this job. So on a daily basis, 100% number one priority is security and safety. However, there are times where we have a private residence. A lot of times I'm dealing with quality of life issues. Maybe a resident calls me and says, "Hey, I can't deal with someone smoking all night. It's coming through my vent." And it's a matter of talking to the residents, speaking with the tenants, addressing things with them, communicating respectfully and kindly. Hey, these are our rules. This is the expectation if you're going to live here. So the idea is my job is to promote business harmony, business continuity, to ensure that the business continues to run and that our guests, our clients, our residents are not disturbed. So that's kind of the X factor, I would say, and kind of like my bread and butter and what I've been so used to doing for the past 6 years.
Do you think all that in a package was very attractive to Pelican? Because you do so much more. You're instructing how to make beds correctly. You're instructing housekeeping to do things safely. And then also, of course, you get the environmental, biological aspect of things and not getting exposed to hazard chemicals and all that. So not just being a bodyguard or EP agent, you're going deep dive into the safety aspect of it, not just being a bodyguard, which is very unique. Very unique.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's being an ambassador to the organization and for safety, and everyone in the company knows, hey, I'm here for them. I'm here to ensure they're safe. Like you said, even it goes back to training. I don't just train my team. I train the entire workforce, make sure they're up to date on things. Because right now, a hot button issue, as we all know, is fentanyl. We know people all over, everywhere, are overdosing on fentanyl. And sometimes it's not just like you would think, okay, it's someone who's addicted to drugs. It's not that. It's, hey, maybe it's you hear about some kid who's going to an Ivy League school and they took a pill, maybe their back was hurting, they thought it was a muscle relaxer, and boom, it was fentanyl laced in it. They overdosed. Or there's powder that was found. We hear all the time, deputies and law enforcement officers, they come across a powder their skin somehow makes contact with it and they overdose on it. The same thing goes with us at a hotel resort. When people check into a hotel, they don't just leave behind their problems and, they don't come in perfect. I mean, things happen. So we train our team. Hey, if we see any powdery substances, anything like that, immediately they contact me and we have a process of how to address that and how to eradicate any threat to or any risk to any of our staff. So it just goes, it's really, like you said, it's everything. It's everything.
So what was the key thing for you in your interview with Pelican Hill? What do you think it was? Just customer service, executive level customer service, like you say, or you just have a different approach in how you lead over there? That's why they wanted you to come into that leadership position.
That's a good question. That's a really good question, Mark. I think it's a mix of things. I'm definitely, like I told you, I'm a servant leader. I want to put others first and make sure that the team and that the employees are taken care of. But also, like you said, it's really I think there is a gap sometimes with when you want to hire a security leader or a manager in the security field. There is that gap where not a lot of times they want to get involved in that customer service aspect. I think that sometimes they want to leave that away. But I want to encourage your viewers is try to focus on, if that's your weakness, dive right into it. Develop yourself in that area. You know what I mean? Take a couple classes, maybe even in public speaking, or even if you have a side job that's involving customer service. Just try to find a good harmony and a good way to really help others and serve others in a business framework, because it serves you very well. And that's the thing is, for me, on a daily basis, I'm speaking to, 1 minute I could be speaking to a billionaire, and the next minute I could be speaking to a hostile individual that just came off the street. So you have to be very good at communication, right? But also delivery. So, when it comes down to it, when I'm involved at my property, things need to be done, and I'm interfacing with many people all the time at this luxury status. You want to make sure that you deliver in a proper manner, and you want to make sure that, everyone's satisfied. And it just comes down also to is a positive attitude, just being polite to others, just caring about other people, and I know a lot of times in security, it's tough, you know what I mean? It's especially different parts around the country and the world. You got to be tough. You have to have that edge sometimes. But in this sector of security, you really have to come forward first with gentleness. You have to be affable. You have to be warm to others, welcoming. And that's really what it comes down to. And I think they did see that, in that interview. And I think that went well for me.
Hey, you said something earlier before we jumped on the show, Zach, that yeah, we may be going into recession, but we're in the industry that's kind of recession proof. Can you do a little deep dive into that conversation and that thought process?
Yeah, so we're hearing a lot right now about recession is around the corner. We do see a lot of these. We do see some economic things occurring and a lot of risk. And, where every day you look at the gas pump, the prices are rising and food costs are rising. So it's definitely a hot topic right now. Our industry, and we've seen it, is certainly recession resistant, I would say. And we're very fortunate, you and I, as we speak, that we're, even though there may be a recession around the corner, we're in the security field. You have to have security. I can tell you when the whole COVID lockdowns occurred and everybody was not allowed to be out unless I'm your essential business circumstances, things like that. I never stopped working. My team never stopped working. We're essential. Security is essential. We have private residences. We have a hospital down the street from our hotel where we have traveling doctors and nurses that stay with us. We need to be able to provide care for them, serve them, protect the assets of the building. We have yachts in our marina where multiple people are living on these yachts. Again, you have to have security. It's essential. And that's why, like we talked about, it's good to know that we're in this field. I believe it is recession resistant. And regardless of what's around the corner, we can be confident knowing, hey, we're in a field where we're going to have work. And not everyone can say that. Certainly cannot say that.
Yeah, for the audience, you're listening to the doom and gloom of the different network TV shows out there that are out there. You would think, our world's falling apart. But from when I talk to different people around the country, the United States is more united than ever. And don't believe the propaganda that you're hearing on TV and the news. They have an agenda, obviously. And, being a United States Marine Corps vet, I'm pretty independent in my political ideologies and all that. And as Rob Lamb said in like a year ago podcast, if a politician's opening in their mouth, they're probably lying. But, neither here or there. My advice to you guys listening to this, like Zach just said, we are in a recession-resilient industry. And things are looking really rough right now. Gas prices are horrendous, and it's not looking too good. To be honest with you, inflation is really just ramping up. Like, I've never seen gas prices this high in my entire life. And it's just another reason I was having a conversation with Robert Dodge, a friend, a mentor in the industry. And, he's calling this the summer of rage that we're about to go into. We have the midterm elections coming on. The Supreme Court's going to make a decision on a case here soon. And there's many, many things going on. And people have been locked down for 2 years. And when you've been locked down for a couple of years, you're going to start cracking. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people crack. Because you have to think, folks, people who live on their phones 24/7, they're getting a diet of Facebook, Instagram, and whatever news source you rely on, and that's in your face 24/7. 15 years ago, we didn't have that problem. So you're getting brainwashed by your input. And successful people control their input. Go talk to a billionaire out there. What does he do? Where does he put his mind in? He's put his mind in his business. A lot of people that I know that are running multi-million-dollar businesses, they don't live on their phones 24/7 like the middle class does. They don't live on Instagram and worried about who's going to follow them. They don't care, folks. And don't become a victim of the culture we're in. And like Zach says, become great at what you do. Spend more time mastering your craft, master your business, master where you want to go, figure out where you need to go, create a goal for the next 5 months, create a goal for the next year, and propel yourself, project yourself into the future where you want to head to. Don't get caught up in this culture of nonsense that we're seeing. Yes, in the security industry, we need to be informed because that executive, hey, did you see the news about XYZ interest rates going up? Say you're working with a financial guy executive. Hey, did you hear about the interest rates? And you hear about the market and all that. They want to test to see if you can talk the talk. They want to see that, yeah, they know you're their personal protection. They know you're executive protection agent for them. But we're going to a trend now in the industry where, look at Zach, for example. The guy's excelled in customer service. The guy can talk. Clients don't want robots protecting them, folks. They don't. They want you to be cross-trained in medical, have EMT maybe certification. They want more than just a bodyguard. I'm sorry, folks, but corporations are going to start cutting budgets back because we're going into a recession, and they're going to demand more of their protective agents. And look at Zach, for example. How many different programs did you hear him discuss of what he does? Did you hear one thing mentioned about executive protection bodyguard? Maybe 1%. And then he just got promoted to a different company. Why? Because he's cross-trained in many sectors. In the Marine Corps, we're cross-trained in many jobs, and that's part of being a Marine. But I think in the private sector, folks, you can't say, well, I'm just a bodyguard. I don't carry things. I don't lift things. You lost your job. You have to be a service mindset.